It is a great pleasure that I introduce to you the National Citizenship Education Teacher of the Year representing grades 9 through 12. Mr. Matthew Susin from the WWII High School in Melbourne, Florida. We got a bigger crowd. Mr. Susin teaches 9th grade history, but he doesn't just teach his students history from the book, he really demonstrates it for them. He has been inspiring his students to learn and appreciate America's heritage and military history for many years. His enthusiasm for U.S. history is clear in the teaching methods he utilizes in the classroom. His knowledge and innovative teaching methods help bring textbooks to life and is a reflection of his hard work, dedication, and passion for teaching our nation's youth. Mr. Susin's resourceful techniques enable him to demonstrate history to his students instead of merely telling it to them. Every 200 students reenact the Battle of Belleau Woods, where, thanks to Mr. Susin's creativity, they act out the battle in a trench warfare environment. Mr. Susin went as far as bringing a backhoe to build the battlefield himself as a partial paintball facility to give the students a more realistic feel for what World War troops endured during combat. Students also reenact the Battle of Lexington Concord that begins with a student acting as Paul Revere riding down the school hallway yelling, "The British are coming, the British are coming." Students have graduated come back to participate in these reenactments, and the entire community looks forward to them. In his outstanding commitment to instilling Americanism and patriotism in his students, Mr. Susin has created the Rho Kappa Historical Honor Society at his high school, where students volunteer at local and military museums. Mr. Susin's peers speak highly of his interactive curriculum dedicated to our military, as well as his commitment to his previous students who joined the military after high school. He keeps in touch with them and sends them holiday care packages. The knowledge he shares with his students will transcend generations, and they are indeed fortunate to have been taught by one of America's finest. Please help me in welcome Mr. Susin, sponsored by VFW Post 4643 in Satellite Beach, Florida.
National Citizen Education Teacher Award, grades level 9 through 12, presented to Matthew Susin, WWII High School, 2012-2013.
Before I begin my speech, I wanted to thank my wife. She, on our anniversaries, always wanted to be in a place where there's no people, where we can be quiet, and she can spend that entire time with me and just on our marriage. Today is our anniversary. And I couldn't think of a better place to be. There's my wife, Tina Susin. I want to say thank you for this prestigious award. My Florida delegation over there made me honored to be here today. Satellite Beach nominated me. I won District 8 and then was able to move up the chain. I want to say thank you to every one of you for your service, and thank you for the ability to be here today. I teach American history and American government at WWII High School. One of the things that I've done is I've built trench warfare, battle reenactments, and I've done all these things. And it comes from when I was in high school, and I was convinced that the teacher that I had for history was actually dead behind the podium because he slept with a newspaper in front of his face. I grew up with a grandfather who served in World War II in Operation Iceberg in Okinawa. He lost his arm when a mortar hit, and he debilitated his legs to where it put him into a wheelchair at an early age. I had 14 first cousins who would come with me I would dress them up with his World War II memorabilia, and I would have them out back reenacting the battles as I was 10, 11, 12 years old. This transformed into my classrooms later on. He talked about how I built the World War I battlefield where the trench reenactment. The key to that was I found that kids learn so much better when they learn not from a textbook, but they actually live out every one of their experiences. The problem that we have today is that it's too hard to teach out of the textbook because they give you all of the standards and they force you to cover a curriculum. I didn't get my degree in teaching, and I didn't get my tactics from a teaching class. I live history through my class, and my kids love being in there. The Battle of Baleo Wood that we reenact, 6 trenches on a 3-acre facility. I cut down pine logs to build a German bunker for them. I went on to build a Vietnam battlefield through the swamp that's right next to it. And every year, VFW members and their sons and their grandparents come back and we get together and do that. They love it every year, and I have kids that come back from the military and do it also. My grandfather, who was such an inspiration in my life, is who drives me to become who I am today. We lost him last March, and since then, it's been a road that has gotten me along a path that has brought me here today, and I think that he's pulling the strings the entire way. You see, one of my students was in the Pacific Theater, was in a boat going through the Solomon Islands, and was trading batteries for hand-carved statues, and all of a sudden, the natives held up American dog tags. This was 8 months ago. She contacted me and took them and said, we need to find the home for those dog tags. So through the local VFW post, along with some other veterans groups, we were able in the last 8 months to find those 6 dog tags, the homes of the relatives of those people that fought in World War II. Currently, I'm working on another project that just came to me a month ago. And this is why I say that my grandfather is moving through me. I was with a veteran sitting down, and he said, you know, Mr. Susin, you do a lot for everything in your community. Did you know that the American flags are made, a portion of them are made in China? And I about fell out of my chair. I said, how can it be that we have a repressive Chinese government who makes American flags who might be in my classroom? So I contacted my local legislature with my Student Government Association. Representative Workman is going to file a bill along with the state senator, and the governor is going to sign it, which states that all American flags in the state of Florida will be made in the United States in governmental municipalities. Thank you. I told him, when I called Representative Workman, I said, I am not going to take no for an answer. I need you to file this bill. And I promise you, if you don't, I will have every student, every parent, every VFW member inside your office for the next 365 days to make sure that you do file this bill. So I challenge some of you to go do the same in your states. Please contact your local legislator. Tell them on the state level, this is what we want. We can't have the American flag to be made in a sweatshop over in China or in a foreign repressive government. We have to be able to make it here with Annan Flag Company and other groups that make them here in the United States with American-made fibers. Please contact your local legislators and do that. I don't want to look up in my class and when I'm doing the Pledge of Allegiance to my American flag to know if it came from China or not. I don't want to sit at a football game when I'm standing there and wonder if that flag that's out on the field was made in China. I don't want to do that. And I'm going to make sure in my state that it doesn't happen any longer. And I would challenge each one of you to make sure that in your state it doesn't happen either. You know, a lot of people say that inspiration in your life as a teacher inspires other students. I have found that my inspiration comes from my students. Whether it was any of my reenactments, whether it was any of my things that I do in my class between debates and Model Student Senate and everything else, I'm inspired by my students to do better. Thank you. God bless America, and God bless every one of you for doing what you do for us. Thank you.